I love puns. I love making puns. I made 100 puns in 24 hours one time. That was delightful. There I go again. But some people don't know how to pun. Some people don't even know what a pun is, and some people think they're punny when they really aren't. So here are 5 short lessons on how to pun and do it properly. Number 1, what is a pun? For those of you who don't know, a pun is a play on words. A pun can be used when you're talking about the simplest of topics and you say a common enough sentence, but with a play on words. For example, so yeah, the president should set an example and pass this legislation. I agree. This will definitely set a precedent. Ha 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 ha. Not the best pun ever, but did you see what happened? Normally I would say set a precedent. But since we just happened to be talking about the president, it was time for me to make my ninja move and shove a pun into the conversation. Yes, 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 yes. Number 2, how not to pun. The ideal way to use puns is in normal everyday conversation. Say you're having a conversation about fish and you want to make a remark about how fishy the situation is, or how you don't like where this is going. But here is how you should never pun. Oh, by the way, what kind of key doesn't open a lock? A monkey? Nobody likes those puns. When you tell a pun, you do not want to give someone the mental image of the back of a Laffy Taffy package. Puns are meant to be used in general conversation. When you make it sound like a riddle, but it's really a pun in disguise, it makes everyone want to kill you. Number 3, how to make puns. I told you before that I once made 100 puns in a single evening, right? How did I do it? Well, it's super simple. You have to remember that the pun has to do with the conversation you're already having. So take the situation you're in and think of terms that relate to it. So if you're talking about the kitchen, then cooking utensils and food products will do nicely. Next, think of a word that meets up with that criteria, but is also easily rhymable or has a double meaning. For example, I think of stuff in my fridge and I come up with ketchup. But ketchup kind of sounds like catch up. So, yeah, I mean, kitchens, they're just so amazing. I know, I'm struggling to catch up. Or if you prefer the use of the glorious egg puns, well, I mean, kitchens, they're just so amazing. I know, they're just so excellent. They just make me feel so ecstatic. Okay, Ryan. Of course, how would you expect me to feel? Please stop. Number 4, what not to make puns about. Hopefully you never find yourself in a time when you're not supposed to make a pun. But if you do, well, I feel incredibly sorry for you, and also, just don't make a pun. In some situations, puns simply don't work. Basically, don't make puns if you're at a funeral, because it'll fall on dead ears. Not if you're talking about anything violent, because, you know, that suicide bomber was certainly the bomb. Basically, anything related to death or destruction should be avoided. Unless, of course, you're making a video about those situations, in which case it's perfectly fine. Number 5, when to stop. Unfortunately, there comes a time when we all must cease our pun making. That time when we become slightly more mediocre in our speech. When we must throw our punniness away and say something else instead. That time is death, because puns are to die for. You can't neglect to use the kitchen.
That's it!
Thanks for watching! Do you want to follow a Twitter account that's simply awesome and shares puns all the time? Well, I just so happen to have found one that is not inappropriate and clean, and it's called @PunForTheRoad. Also, I know of 2 other YouTube channels that have makers who love puns, and those are Kevin McCurry and Pun Diddley. And guess what? They make videos just like me too, except they have a white background, not a black one. Racists. So let me shed some white on the situation and send you to their YouTube channels, which are in the description and also right here and right here, or somewhere on this page. I don't know where I'm gonna put them. So go check out their channels and subscribe to all of us, because if you don't, it's your funeral. See what I did there?